uncharted territory ke ditsela tse leng gore batho ba banke ba di sepela seo e ka baka la letshogo le go tshaba go leka.
Then from more hey ke mo ke boneng an opportunity hore ke iqalle business ka that 1000 rand ne ke savile.
Business engayicala like last year kahle during stage 5 stage 4 lockdown.
Rena re le di farmer re tshaba go feta mo batho ba sankeng ba feta gona kudu ga ile gore ga rena tsebo.
It is a huge open market. We don't have quantity of snails in South Africa. We can't even supply our local market, which has got a 200-ton shortage. And the export market is massive.
Vita ra mina eka mohelo bombe ha mo amkela ka nongonongo wa Living Land right on SABC 2.
Metsotso ya leshometaro go tswa Johannesburg o tla kgotsa Orange Farm location le leboa la Johannesburg mme mo lefelong le khwila mebalabala o tla kgotsa lesogana le lengwe la go bina go fihla katlegong ya gagwe.
Gontse ke mosoa go ba le lerato la bophelo go dansa le maikemišetšo a go atlega. Mosoa go goletseng mo Orange Farm o fetotse seo e bego a nagana gore ke hard labor go thoma kgwebo ya gagwe ya go manufacture jam e leng gore o rutile ke koko wa gagwe. Motlhomongwe ka mokana ga rena ra tseba gore jam e diriwa jwang. Epi ya gagwe a tlwaelega gore o kry moswa e leng gore o goletse mo location a manufacture jam ya gae. A re tseneng ka gare re kopane le ena.
Na bitso la ka ke Gontse Slaotswe ke lepantsola la ko ka se pantsola la je mame young farmer, agro processor and a pantsola activist. Immediately after my matric, ne ke le motivated from school by the competition ya step up to start up ya entrepreneur. Then after my matric ne ke batla iqalla business but I didn't know which business to start and I had a 1000 rand ne ke saved to buy myself a pair of shoes that All Star. Hola wa ka ke hotse ke ya garden le ntate moholo. Then after harvesting the products tsa rona ko garden, my granny would do jam for us. I went to my granny ka mbotsa because now package ka mabotlolo a mayonnaise. So ka wa sa re ke mabotlolo a matle o iketsetse sticker o ikenya mo shopong o rekisa. Then my granny ampotsa go wena wa sa iketsetse yona. Then from more hey ke mo ke boneng an opportunity hore ke iqalle business ka that 1000 rand ne ke savile.
Mebaraka ye mafaseng ya di-jam, di-jelly le tsona di-marmalades di lebeletswe gore di ka fihla go $33 billion ka 2024 mme lesogana lekhwi le tsene gona mo kgwebong yewe.
Ha re ka all day jam le tswa ka lebitso le
All day jam is from the flavors tsa rona tse le reng D4,
okay,
which is tomato jam, yellow melon jam, pear jam, the peach jam.
Alright.
So jam tsa rona di khona with multiple things. So with the tomato jam, you can marinate your chicken,
yes,
use it as replacement of chutney on your food, and it also applies on your bread. Then that's in the flavor which is peach, pear, yellow melon. O khona etsa di jam tarts ka tsona, o khona di ja ka makwenya, o khona ho di ja ka borotho. So le ka di pancake.
So gona ja ka breakfast ke jam, lunch ke jam, dinner ke jam.
That's why re bitsa all day jam.
So o khona ha o kena na etsa jam hantsane le gola. Ke tse feng dilo tse leng gore o rutile tsona and wena wa o bone bohlokwa ba gore o tswele pele ka kgwebo ya jam?
Totally ke respect e tlampeng. Wa tseba mtswa yo mong le mong tshwa e batlang ke respect wa bo. So nna ke le pantsola ke na le respect ke a hlompha wa bo. So nkgono yo o rutsitse ntho tse ngata sentsane re hola. O rutsitse o etsa di jam hona no o batla go rutisa ho store di yellow dintho di sweet potato tse re di harvestang le tsona.
Ke batla tseba gore why o bone go le important go rotsa keng no man ntho e jiwa every day, so obviously everybody wa ija. Why o bone jwang business kore idea e ya gore o itse keng e reketse business from ntho e ke ratang o bone jwang?
So ne ke la pila khutla sekolong, so itse ha ke ja ka tlela ke ntho ya mnate and like business ke bile motivated from sekolong hantle wa mo. That is why ke le ka bona as a business 1 2 3 4.
Yeah, I know. Rano ke a utlwa ntwana.
Wonderful.
Di-yellow melons tsa hao o di kgetha jwang le hona o tsebela kae hore e sharp hore o ka e berekisetsa jam ya hao?
Di-yellow melon tsena hore re kgone ho bona hore di sharp for ho etsa jam. Ka montle, it has to be green instead of hore e be yellow.
Okay.
So ka ska re ke yellow melon inside the yellow. Yellow bo e botswela kontle ya affecta from kontle wa bona. We bona se le green, se le yellow ka montle. And when you open it, se le liquid fela se na metsi a mangata. So jalo ha e sa le sharp he. So but if maybe it ile ka montle how e sharp e le green nje, still in good condition.
So gontse mo ke mo processing jam ya hao?
Yeah, this is the space lo reng ke sebeletsa ho sona sena gona ka nka di space sena for temporary fela re ke nne khona producer jam. So this is the place mo ko operatelang teng.
Gontse ke tse feng di-challenges tse leng hore o kopana le tsona mo kgwebong ya hao?
Oh, the challenges tse lo reng ke kopana le tsona mo kgwebong ya ka, it's the small space lo reng ke operatela ho sona. So ke batla ho rekisa product ya ka ke supply big retailer.
And then no market ya hao ke mang?
Market ya ka ke attend the market mo by restaurant dintho, and another market hape ke ko distrateng to ke deliver ka bicycle ya ka, social media ke sebedisa le yona for market tsa mosebetsi wa ka. So there's a lot of ways to lo reng ke sebedisa for market, and ke le pantsola hape ke batla ho hira mapantsola a mang hore mapantsola ska tsebahala fela ka dancing, ba tsebahale hape ka hore they doing lovely things hape ba rekisa jam.
So ba ska dula fela ko dikhoneng because of baring
zoithola kanjani hlele khoneni awuphanda ukele zibhizi udimanye chu.
Ke eng ntho e leng hore motho o ditseng ko hae o shebeletseng o batla ho ikeletsa homemade jam? Ke tse feng tsa di hlokang?
You have to use sugar and o ka ikenyetsa le ntho tsa hao tse unique, o be unique ha o etsa jam ya hao ya ntho ya peach re ke example ya apple, o ka nka di minti ka mo hare o di kenye kore ha o le motho wa pheya tlemelo bapale ka yona wa bo bapale ka di ingredients. So the main thing fela tse hlokahalang ke energy, ke fruits, ke tswekere, then your secret ingredients here. Wabo, and the method it's all over the internet, and they don't want to some of the methods.
Yeah.
Moswa yo ke ka nnete o mo tseleng ya go dira tša go se tlwaelege. Ka morago ga papatso ngwana gešo re kopana le moswa o mongwe gape le yena o tsene mo leetong la tša go se tlwaelege mo lefaseng la Heliciculture. Re a kopana ka morago ga sekhwi.
Heliciculture goba Heliciculture ke temo ya kgodišo ya di-snails bakeng la dijo le di-cosmetics. Nama ya di-snails e tsebagala jwale ka nama ya maemo a godimo ebile e na le protein e ntši. Mae a gona a jewa jwale ka di-caviar. Ngwana ko gae ge ke be ke bolela ka di-uncharted territory ke be ke sa bapale. Mamotla re tlo ithuta ka snail farming e tla le nna.
Sanibonani nonke, igama lami nguThulani Mandula. Ku-agriculture ngenza snail farming known as Heliciculture farming. Business engayiqala like last year kahle during stage 5, stage 4 lockdown. After like umuntu aluze umsebenzi, when you are not doing anything, obviously awuphumi ngaphandle, you just spend time in the family yakho. Obviously, other thing, you can't just sleep all day. Angeke nje ngahlala kuphela without doing anything. Like ama-snails, that's why like ngaqala ngawo manje. And ngiyawathanda guys because of like not just loving them kuphela, but you know how they interact nami, you know ukuthi zidla njani.
Ka mahlatse ngwana gesho, Thulani o na le motho yo a ka mmontshang se le sela.
So Thulani tshela mina wena no enihlangane kuphi?
Funny enough, mina no Eni sihlangane ku Facebook, like.
Yeah.
So I did research during that time about snails farming, because it's something that obviously I was interested into in that venture.
So njengoba uEni akumentora as a commercial farmer, ufuna ukwazi ukuthi iziphi izinto osifunde kuye ene leyo knowledge leyo uyisebenzisa kanjani efamini yakho?
Obviously, ngifunde okuningi. I don't want to lie to you. Thola like uncedo, like especially when it comes to this venture, snails. In South Africa, abasibaningi abantu abayenza snail farming. So I was fortunate enough to mentora Eni because of ungifundise into eziningi, because of number one, ungifundise ukuthi this business, it's not a get rich quick business, you understand? Another thing angifundise yona ukuthi fanele ngibelieve in me, yeah, which is very, very important. And ngfunde okuningi, like how to set up like a structure, how to identify breeders, because of, snails, they are not that business like everyone, like, that much, you understand? So, namakanda khona because of snails, like, akupa from the ground to lay eggs. So how to ukuthi amaqanda akhula kanjani, ngifunde kuningi kuye because of uye umuntu ngathi ungikhombile like izinto lezi bengifuna ukuzenza eziningi. Yeah.
I grew up on a farm which we had cattle, mealies, all kinds of different types of pigs even. And then I went into the normal day-to-day jobs, and I've never been happy doing that. About 3 years ago, I started being interested in snail farming as I saw a program on TV on the overseas snail farm. I bought my own 500 snails. After about 3 months, I decided to go out on a bigger scale, which I then went forward and I bought my first 4,000 breeders. I decided to go into snail farming because we've got backing from Heliciculture Farmers Association of South Africa, through which they guarantee to buy back all our snails that we can produce. And that is when I decided to go into it on big scale. I currently have around about 2 tons of snails, which would be ready to harvest October, November.
So what is it that is needed from government and other stakeholders in order to improve or change this farming practice?
We are currently in talks with government for investment into snail farming. To set up their farms. And obviously it is costly to set up the structures and to buy the initial breeding stock for them to be able to farm. And we want to do it in all the rural areas, number one. Number two, we want to do it in urban areas where they take empty factories or empty buildings and turn it into a snail farm, which can be done indoors with 100% success. We as an association will donate Thulani's first breeders and his first feed as well to get him going, but he lacks funding to set up the structure to get it going. And I mean, he is a brilliant example of a young farmer willing to do something for himself.
And something different.
And something different, yes.
And we import a lot of snails into our country. How can we change that so that we can export to other countries?
Okay, let's start off with exporting. It is a huge open market. We cannot touch it in any which way or form currently. We don't have quantity of snails in South Africa. We can't even supply our local market, which has got a 200-ton shortage, a yearly shortage of 200 tons. So we need to supply our own market first. which is human consumption, slime extraction, and protein, before we can even touch the export market.
Yeah.
And the export market is massive, absolutely massive.
Yeah. There are so many challenges that are faced by farmers. I want to know, what are some of the challenges that you face as a snail farmer? I mean, talking about the issue of land, funding, access to market. Let's talk about your challenges.
Our biggest challenge is funding, basically. It is very costly to set up your whole snail farm right from the start. It's not a get rich quick. You will make money, but maybe 9-10 months or in year 2.
Ka tlhokego ya di-snail tše ka fihlang go 200 tons mo Afrika Borwa bakeng sa go jewa ke batho, go molaleng wa nagešo gore go na le monyetla yo mogolo kudu mo mmarakeng wa di-snails. Ge o sa nagana seo, ga re tsene mabenkeleng, re tla tswelela pele ka leeto la rena la tša go se tlwaelege ka morago ga sekhwi.
Go bolela nnete fela di-opportunities ke tše dintši within the snail farming. Epia batho ke gore ga bana tsebe. I mean, really, if go na le di-farmers tše 80 within the country, it means information a eyo. Morapa ba tšo re tšwela pele re bolela ka snail farming le menyetla e leng gore e gona seshuti.
Re sa le mo leetong la di-snails, se batho ba bantši ba sa se tsebeng ngwana gešo ke gore di-snail di a khutsa ka marega, di tsene ka fase ga mobu go tšhabela go tonya. Ge dipula di tla, meetse a tsena mo mobung, mme se se dira gore di-snails tšewe di tšwe ka fase go tlo ja le go breeda.
What are some of the most vital things you need to look out for when farming with snails?
First of all, water is you have to have your water tested. Due to the fact if there's too much salt in your water, your snails die. Okay, that's the most important factor. Then you have to have a greenhouse with an 80 or higher percentage like this. Number one, snails is a bottom of the food chain.
Right.
So everything wants to eat it. So you protect it against birds, you protect it against the harsh sunlight, and we put corrugated iron around it to keep the mice out and keep the frogs out.
I see you grow them under a shade net. Is this the only way to grow them and keep them?
No, it's not the only way to do them. A lot of people are doing it successfully all indoors, where they control the day and night, they control humidity and control the temperature.
Yeah.
Which in actual fact gives you a better harvest because you don't have to go through winter or hot summers.
Are there any temperature specifications you need to maintain?
Ideally indoors, their ideal temperature is between 22 to 24 degrees, which indoors you can control.
Snails look very delicate and very small. Let's talk about the mortality.
Snails is very delicate. They're minute when they're born, or morphed, as we call it, but they're tough little creatures.
Yeah.
They can survive the harshest of winters and summers due to the fact that if it's too hot, too cold, they go into hibernation to protect themselves.
So, Annie, this is where you keep the eggs?
Yes, there's two ways that you can do it. We can dig them out the ground, then we keep them in containers like this.
Right.
There's an average weight that we work on per egg.
Okay.
And that will give you the quantity of snails in here.
Yeah.
So specifically in this container is about 1,000 babies.
There's about 1,000 babies.
Yes.
And how long do you keep them in here?
It takes between 2 to 3 weeks for them to hatch or morph. This is called white caviar, which is very expensive when you buy it in a restaurant. Okay? Please help yourself.
The smallest, ne?
Take a small one, yes.
Okay.
I'll tell you, I'll eat one with you.
Okay.
How's that?
Emhlabeni yazibathi uphila kayi-1. So asino tastani. Re tla bona ko pele. So I'm tasting 4.
I've got 3.
I've got 3.
Yes.
3, 2, 1. Actually, that's not bad.
It's really not bad. How do you feel now that you've eaten 4 of my babies?
I feel okay. Can I have more? I'm joking.
ge o kwa lentswe la go swana le escargot o nagana dinaga tša go swana le France le Italy. Fela di-snails ke gale di jewa mengwaga e mentši kudu-kudu ngwana gešo. Di thomile go jewa ke batho ba Spain. Le kgono, di-snails o ka di hwetša mo di-menung tše dintši lefase bophara.
Yiphi technique umuntu kumele ayuse mawupheka ama-snails? Siyawafrya, uwapheka ngamanzi, siyawafrya.
Siyawafrya.
Okay.
Siyawafrya ngegarlic nangebhathi.
Nale butter. Alright, so siqala ngani ke?
Siqala
Ngebutter.
slide stock sethu.
Alright.
Zane butter yethu. Ngegarlic.
Ithela yona.
That is why ngifaka kanje. Ngoba sizolinda amanzi aphele, yebo.
Okay.
Kwenzela ukuthi siwafrye.
Okay.
Then sesiyo frya ke. One butter sauce, 6 in a portion sesiyofaka cheese. After ukufaka cheese siza ku-oven.
Okay. Something or nyako something. Don't wait for anyone. Go out there inyakele information. Ungafuna ukuthi hey ngifuna ukubona ubusibani ayiqala mayiqale ngawe sifunele. You must be the first person to do it. Lina la ka ke na ka mogala bombe le ibe lenano la Living Land go SABC 2 until we meet again next week. Lisha ngabotse. Bye bye.
For more information, email livingland@sabc.co.za or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Alternatively, call 012 348 3505.